Hello and welcome inside Alumni Field for Pink Day, as the 19th ranked Michigan Wolverines will play host to the visiting Broncos of Western Michigan. My name is Kevin Klein. Alongside with me is Morris Fabry, and it is the final edition of Midweek MACtion games for the 2017 season, in addition to the final regular season home game for the Wolverines. For Western Michigan, they come into this one at 21-25. Michigan at 37-10-1. But Mo, despite that sub 500 record, you look at this Western Michigan lineup, they got some mashers.
Yeah, for sure, and they're coming into this game hot. They've won 5 out of their last 6 games, and immediately preceding that run, their most recent loss was to Notre Dame by a score of 6-5. Notre Dame, a very good softball team, as Michigan found out earlier on in this season. So this is a lineup that may be poised to hang tough with the Wolverines. Michigan's still undefeated on their home diamond, so you got to imagine they'll be poised to win. They're throwing out Blanco today. Blanco had iffy stuff, but really battled through it this weekend against Indiana, and I think we'll look to maybe put forth her more dominant stuff today.
You mentioned Michigan has won 35 straight home games dating back to last season. You mentioned Tara Blanco. She will be in the circle today, and a very good ERA. She comes into this one with a 2.02 ERA, 16-3 on the year in 110 2/3 innings pitched, and she has been a very competent number 2 to Megan Betza. Obviously, Megan Betza probably not going to pitch in today's game, but a lot can be said about what Blanco has been able to do this season.
Yeah, very solid. An innings eater, which is all the Wolverines have needed given Betts' relative dominance in the circle. Something that she was struggling with last week was incorporating that off-speed pitch. I think she struggled locating and struggled getting it down in the zone, and Indiana preyed on it to some extent. And if she can buckle that down, she can, start racking up the strikeouts and really asserting herself as a number one, which Michigan is going to need from her next year.
Yeah, one thing that might be a factor here as Michigan's starting lineup is being announced right now is the wind. It is blowing directly out to center field, so this could bode well for the Wolverines, who have homered 11 times in their past 5 games, 3 of those from Tara Blanco, who has picked it up in Big Ten play, hitting over 350 at a 370 clip. We will get you starting lineups for both teams, defensive alignments, and the whole 9 yards right after the national anthem here at Alumni Field. Stick with us.
And just a reminder, you are listening to 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball. And yeah, not only are the Michigan Mashers coming here to play, but also Kelsey Sichaki and Abby Stoner, the middle of that Western Michigan lineup, have 8 homers apiece. In case you're not well versed in the stats, that eclipses any tally from the Wolverines thus far this season. But we are about to have the alumni band live with the anthem, so we're going to turn that up for you.
Number 11, Natalie Peters. The designated player is number 16, Morgan Swift. The starting pitcher for the Wolverines is number 24, Tara Blanco. The Wolverines coaching staff includes volunteer assistant coach Alex Lopez, assistant coach Jennifer Runyon, associate head coach Mon Cole, and the head coach is Carol Hutchins. Bates joining the Michigan team and staff on the first base line are the team captains from the 8th annual Michigan Softball Academy. Let's welcome them all to the field. At this time, we ask that you please rise, remove your hats, and join us in honoring America and those who protect it with the singing of our national anthem. The anthem is performed tonight by Softball Academy participant and breast cancer survivor, Judy Nanta.
Whose bright
great rendition of the national anthem there, as we are just minutes away from the first pitch here at Alumni Field. Once again, Kevin Klein alongside with me is Morris Fabry. It looks like we will have a ceremonial first pitch here, as it is Pink Day at the ballpark.
Just a reminder, once again, you are listening to 88.3 WCBN FM, Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball. Thank you so much to those of you who have tuned in. But yeah, as we were both alluding to, this Western Michigan lineup that'll be facing Terra Blanco, pretty potent. They've got hitters for average. They've got, base running at the top as you'd expect. They've got some mashers. So Blanco not exactly going to have a walk in the park today.
The lineup looks like this for the Broncos of Western Michigan. Leading off in center field is Ivy Schaff. Mackenzie Swinehart in right field follows her. Kelsey Suchaki at the third base position, batting third. The designated player today and hitting cleanup, Abby Stoner. Marley Wilson at first base follows her. Aspen Williams in left field, batting sixth. The shortstop, Brooke Wyman, batting seventh. The catcher, Carrie Padula, is batting eighth. And rounding out the lineup, Aaron Barr at second base. We mentioned Blanco in the circle today. The Wolverines wearing their blue socks, white pants, and I would assume custom-made pink jerseys. They're a very nice color combination with the blue numbers and blue visors. Western Michigan with their gold tops, gold socks with the black pants. So some interesting color combinations today at Alumni Field.
And not your usual fare. I like that the font on the front of the Michigan uniform is kind of subdued, lets the pink shine through. Lets us know what we're really here for. Decent crowd today for what was looking pretty dreary until the sun peeped out. About 45 degrees here as we are about to have our first pitch. Your umpires on the game behind home plate, Brian Smith. Down the first baseline is Jamie Cole. And at third base, Mark Druyard.
Once again, the wind whipping directly out to center field, so that might play a factor today. Blanco Wines delivers a first pitch. That is a called strike, and we are underway here at Alumni Field. 6:05 p.m. 46 degrees as well, and it is pretty overcast here in Ann Arbor. The 0-1 from Blanco to Ivy Schaff inside. Defensively for the Wolverines, left to right in the outfield, Courtney Richardson, Kelly Christner, Natalie Peters, Lindsay Montemurano at third base with Abby Ramirez, Faith Canfield up the middle, Aiden Falk over at first base. A ground ball here off the foot of Schaff. Alex Subject, the battery mate of Blanco today. It's 1-2 on Schaff. Comes into this one a .333 average, 2 home runs, 18 RBIs. Really good speed at the top of the lineup, though. She has 2 triples.
Second on the team in walks as well, first in stolen base. Your quintessential leadoff hitter, only she hits from the right side, which is a bit unusual.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Blanco gets her first strikeout of the day. Schaff down on 4 pitches.
Blanco can spin it both ways. She spotted that one on the outside corner, and Schaff lunging at it, undercut it pretty brutally. It's a good start to the game for the Michigan righty.
That will bring up Mackenzie Swinehart, the freshman. Blanco working at a good pace early on here. First pitch from the slapper Swinehart is fouled in the direction of Western Michigan's dugout, 0-1.
Swinehart's got an interesting run-up. It feels like she has a little less speed going out toward the circle than other slappers. Certainly able to get on base, though, to the tune of a .430 on-base percentage.
The 0-1 bounce right to Ramirez. That'll be an easy play. And just like that, there are 2 quick outs in the top of the first inning for the Western Michigan Broncos.
It's rare that you really want to pound the ball straight into the dirt, but if Swinehart had gotten a little more air under that after it bounced right in front of home plate, maybe she beats it up before Ramirez gets the transfer and throw to first.
And this is the part of the lineup where Terra Blanco needs to be a little careful. Kelsey Suchaki, will take a ball inside. She's hitting .414, which leads the team. She also leads the team in home runs and RBIs with 8 and 42, respectively. Sachaki, the senior from McHenry, Illinois. The 1-0 is upstairs at the letters, 2-0.
It's got to be clarified. We didn't get a Western Michigan media guide, so if we're messing up any of the pronunciations and there's anybody on the Western end who's tuning in and wants to correct us, please tweet at us at WCBN Sports. We're eager to get this right.
The 2-0 misses yet again. It's 3-0 on Sachaki, who also leads the team in walks with 18. Her on-base percentage at .470. A very potent number 3 hitter for the Broncos. The 3-0, a ground ball. This one again to Ramirez, and again it's an easy play as she tosses it across the diamond to Aiden Falk, and it is a 1-2-3 inning for Tara Blanco to start this thing off.
That kind of swing on 3-0 looked like it got really up and in on the hands of Sachaki. I think Blanco might have fooled her with a screwball there. That's the thing, coming out of the hand, it's hard to tell whether it's breaking right to left or left to right when you have a pitcher who can go both ways. And so that's how you get bailed out of an at-bat that you're down to one of the best hitters on Western Michigan's lineup.
And that's the thing. You look and you see the confidence that the coaching staff of Western Michigan has in that number 3 hitter, Sachaki. To swing at 3-0, it might not have been the best pitch. You're right, Blanco threw it in a great location. But I think early on in the game, I would have liked to see a couple more pitches taken there, maybe see a little better of a pitch, especially because the key against Blanco is get base runners on and then have the rest of your lineup put balls in play, put pressure on that Michigan defense.
Yeah, for sure, but on the other hand, Michigan, if they lose games, they tend to lose the close, low-scoring affairs more so than they tend to get out-slugged. So, maybe you just want to go all in for that one run, that solo bomb from your best hitter, in a scenario where she's likely to get a good pitch and try to win that 1-0 game behind Anissa Sanchez.
Kelly Christner just about ready to take the left-handed batter's box for the Wolverines. Michigan's lineup is Christner in center field. Abby Ramirez at shortstop follows her. Faith Canfield batting third at second base. Aiden Falk batting cleanup at first. Tara Blanco, the pitcher today, batting fifth. Alex Subcheck is the catcher, batting sixth. Lindsay Montemurano at third base, batting seventh. Following her in the 8th spot is Courtney Richardson in left field. And rounding out the lineup is Peters in right field. The pitcher for the Broncos, Anissa Sanchez. First pitch is bunted, a good one. Christner will reach base handedly. It was a perfect bunt in between the first baseman, second baseman, and the pitcher. No one knew no one knew whether or not to field it.
Yeah, I think Anissa Sanchez couldn't have gotten a worse read on that bunt. She started charging in on it and then broke to her left, only to find out that the bunt was rolling past her. I think that's a play that she should make. It was still a very well done bunt by Kelly Christner. Would have been tough.
Now Ramirez, she fouls one off. And it's funny, Mo, you were actually talking before the game. Arguably one of Michigan's best power hitters is so good at bunting. We saw it in the Indiana series as well.
We saw it last year with Sierra Romero. I mean, she was good at everything, though, so that kind of goes without saying.
Christner goes, the throw, not in time. And there's a stolen base for Kelly Christner, her 16th of the year. That leads the team. 16 for 20 now is Christner. So a runner in scoring position early on here. A 1-1 count on Ramirez. She shows bunt, pulls it back. Sanchez, the junior from El Rancho, California.
Coming in with an ERA of 2.6, which seems impressive until you account for the fact that she's also surrendered 38 earned runs, 22 unearned runs this year.
2-1 is bunted. This one against some miscommunication among the Broncos. And Ramirez safe at first. Christner moves up 60 feet to third. And back-to-back bunts. It looks like Ramirez wanted to take advantage of what Christner did in the first at-bat.
Yeah, and Marley Wilson, the first baseman, almost a savvy play, turned and tried to tag out Ramirez after she fouled through at first base. First base umpire Jamie Cole ruled that she did not turn towards second, make an effort to take that extra bag. But yeah, Western looking pretty susceptible to the bunt, and it's something you see a lot. Inexcusable breakdown, I would say, but still very well executed bunts by the Wolverines.
Absolutely, and I think what Marley Wilson wanted to do, as there's a circle visit early on here from the Broncos, is she wanted to come in on that ball, but realized with Ramirez's speed, it was probably better that she stayed at first, but Sanchez didn't make the way over to recover the ball. So definitely some early miscommunication, and this is when it's up to the rest of the Michigan lineup to take advantage of back-to-back lead-off hits. Runners in scoring position on the corners for Faith Canfield. And she shows bunt, she offers. Ramirez will take second with a stolen base.
Yeah, just protecting the runner there. Sacrificing a strike for that extra bag, although I think Ramirez probably could have swiped that without the help.
So now 2 runners in scoring position. Sanchez will wind, deliver strike 2.
Sanchez turning up the velocity a bit there. That's probably the hardest pitch we've seen out of her, and it surprised Canfield now behind the count 0-2. Good hard curveball at the knees.
362, Canfield is batting this year. 7 home runs, 30 RBIs. That home run tally leads the club. Here's the 0-2, a drive, but she yanked it foul down the left field line. It'll remain 0-2 on the Wolverines' second baseman.
That's part of what makes Canfield so dangerous. It was a pitch up and in, and Canfield is just so quick getting around on those inside pitches and turning on them down the left field line.
Canfield with excellent extra base power. She's slugging over 600 this year. The 0-2, that one driven into the right center gap. It'll get up over the wall. That's a home run, Faith Canfield. A line drive shot, and Michigan has an early 3-run lead.
Well, the wind was not going to knock that one down. Another reason why Faith Canfield is so dangerous, in addition to being able to pull the ball with authority, she can go the other way too. The last few home runs she's hit have been to that right center field gap, and that was an absolute laser off the bat. And this is Sanchez not off to the best start against this Michigan lineup that seems to be turning things around.
I initially thought that was going to be a double, and if Canfield would have taken another pitch, I would have said, if you notice where those outfielders were playing, they were all on the cut of the outfield grass. But to catch that one, Swinehart or Schaff would have had to been in the stands. Aiden Falk, a first pitch cut, is fouled away 0-1.
Yeah, Canfield has been scalding line drives basically all throughout Big Ten play. She's been doing it all. She's not a very patient hitter, but also doesn't strike out, period. She has not struck out in Big Ten play.
Falk takes strike 2. And it's 0-2. The first 3 Wolverines reach. 2 bunt singles, and then Canfield knocks one out of the park. Ball 1 to Aiden Falk, who's hitting .309, 4 home runs, 37 RBIs. Is good for second on the team. The 1-2, a off-speed pitch, and Falk was able to hold up just enough to tap it foul in the direction of Bonnie Thole at first base.
Yeah, Falk gives you so much power that you kind of have to keep plugging her in that cleanup spot. She's taken a bit of a step back in Big Ten play, but still plenty of extra base pop.
Tied for the team lead in doubles. This one a grounder right back to the pitcher, and that's out number 1.
Yeah, an off-speed pitch buried down around her shoe tops. She had to offer at it down in the count 1-2, but you know that's what happens when you're behind in the count, just a weak swing.
And a good job from Sanchez to rebound that at bat. It looked like Sanchez had a lot of confidence attacking Aiden Falk, getting ahead of her, something that she was unable to do in the first top third of the lineup. Here's Tara Blanco, ball 1 to her. She's the pitcher today, 267 on the year, 6 home runs, 39 RBIs. Has homered in 3 of her last 4 games. This one a drive down the right field line, but it's caught on the run by Mackenzie Swinehart for out number 2. I believe that was in foul territory, but some good extra base or some opposite field power, if anything, from Blanco. But it's the second out.
I did think it might have a chance to get out off the bat, just because of our position on this right field line. It's a little harder to judge the trajectory of balls hit down the right field line. And with the wind blowing out, she came about 15 feet short.
Subcheck swings and fouls one off of her foot. Subcheck getting the midweek start behind the plate. This is her 30th game, 18th start. The 0-1 is inside, 1-1 now. Count evens up.
Yeah, Hutch has had a problem deciding who to start at the catcher position all year. At the beginning of the season, it was because neither of them were hitting. Now, both of them are hitting well enough to earn a spot in the lineup.
Sanchez gets the sign from the dugout, 1-1, and it's a liner right to Sanchez. She scoops it out of the air, and Sanchez out of the inning, but not before a 3-run dinger from Faith Canfield, 3-0 after 1, Michigan.
Yeah, and this is Sanchez, very involved defensively, both good and bad. Pretty darn slow out of the circle, and Michigan did exploit that on the 2 bunt singles that set up that Faith Canfield home run. But at the same time, fielded her position well, retiring Falk on the ground out and then reaching out to snag that one, although I think if that got by her, the shortstop would have made the play anyway, Brooke Wyman. It was off the end of the bat, and Subject is not, it doesn't really have the speed to beat out a lot of infield hits.
And I believe now we have some sprinkles, which is quite odd considering there's a lot of clouds in the sky, but the sun is peeking out, but some sprinkles on the first base line as Blanco will get back to work in the circle for the top of the second.
Some sun showers, typical Michigan spring weather. Feels like January out there. Yeah, how nice is it to see a 1-2-3 single home run sequence from this Michigan offense? Doesn't matter who it's against. We haven't seen much of that this year.
Yeah, Michigan already 2 for 2 with runners in scoring position, which has been their Achilles heel all year long, and now it'll be up to Blanco to keep this a 3-0 game. First pitch to Abby Stoner. Misses. It's 1-0. Stoner, the senior, hitting .289 on the year. She's tied for the team lead in home runs with 8 as well. So a lot of power in the 3-4 spots for the Broncos. The 1-0 is a called strike.
There haven't been a lot of called strikes today. It feels like a pretty small zone from Brian Smith. It's gone both ways, but still, I think, remarkable.
The 1-1. High and outside, so if you're keeping track at home, top of the second inning, Mo already with his first comment about the umpiring crew.
Just trying to convey what I see to the listeners.
Blanco's 2-1 offering, swing and a miss, a good off-speed pitch, and that'll push the count to 2-2.
Yeah, we saw Blanco missing her location last weekend against Indiana. No such misses there. Outer edge off the plate at the knees, pretty unhittable.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Blanco starts off the top of the second, as she did in the top of the first with a strikeout, her second of the afternoon.
Yeah, and that's how you do it. Blanco dropping one low and away with the off speed, comes back looking like a similar spot, but she cranks up the gas high and outside and just blazed it by Abby Stoner.
That'll bring up Marley Wilson. There's a called strike. Blanco working at a good pace early on here. Wilson, a redshirt junior from South Haven, Michigan. Blanco's 0-1. Off the end of the bat, and she pulls it foul down the right side. Wilson hits from the left side. One of 3 left-handed hitters in the Western Michigan lineup.
And she stands at the very back of the box. I'd look for Blanca to maybe drop a breaking ball down in front of her.
The 0-2 instead is the heater. It's to Ramirez. She ranges to her left, makes a strong throw to Aiden Falk, and it's another 6-3 put out for the Wolverines.
To be fair, she did drop in the breaking ball low on the 0-1 pitch. The 0-2, she switched it up and produced that ground out. Blanca looking good so far.
5 up, 5 down so far for Tara Blanco and the Wolverines. Aspen Williams will bat with 2 outs and the base is empty. First pitch is that breaking ball that drops low. Williams hitting .289 on the year. Some power as well, 6 home runs. There's a ball high, 2-0.
Yeah, Williams, outside of the 6 home runs, not a ton of extra base pop. Only 3 doubles and 1 triple. Bit of an unusual season-long line for the lefty left fielder.
Williams takes a ball upstairs, 3-0.
Weston's got an interesting chant going on. They are doing sort of a tomahawk motion and chanting out the number of balls in case Aspen Williams were to forget the count somehow, I guess.
It's definitely a good reminder for me as well. I tend to forget it from time to time. The 3-0, right down the middle, 3-1.
Yeah, you know, it only says so on the scoreboard.
You can never be too sure, though. I mean, credit the Western Michigan bench.
Better safe than sorry.
Outfielders creeping in for this 3-1 pitch to Williams. And it's on the inner third, 3-2 now. Blanco trying to work back from the 3-0 hole.
Good spot there from Blanco, pounding the inside, attacking the hitter behind in the count.
The payoff pitch from Blanco. Just a touch low, and Williams aboard with a walk.
Looked like a good spot. I don't think Williams lifted the bat off her shoulder that entire at-bat. Looking to see some pitches, and it pays off. Too close to take on a 3-2 count, if you ask me, but she took it and reaped the benefits.
Blanco wanted that call. It was just a little low, though, so 2 outs. And a grounder foul. A hot shot off the bat of Brooke Wyman was out of the reach of Lindsay Montemurano, but just a few inches foul there, so it's 0-1. That would have been extra bases.
Yeah, Brian Smith took his time before going up with both hands there, too. One way you can tell it's foul, though, it got by Lindsay Montemurano, and she's hugging that line.
Absolutely. The 0-1 check swing, but Wyman did not offer. The 2 seniors on the left side of the infield for Michigan playing their final regular season home game at Alumni Field today, as Wyman takes a called strike 1-2.
Wyman's got a lot of small motions going on in her batting stance, waving the bat around and then just rocking back on her back foot for the entirety of Blanco's rotation.
Here's the 1-2, and it bounces there. It'll be 2-2. Williams at first thought about going, but decides to hold up. So 2 outs, 2-2 count. Blanco trying to get out of the top of the second inning here, the 2-2. Popped foul right side in our direction, but it will fall well below the press box. Count will remain at 2-2.
Dropped by a fan with a blue windbreaker and a blue hat.
You know, it is chilly, and the wind is whipping, so hats off to the home plate umpire, Brian Smith. He's in short sleeves. If you asked him, it's 75 and sunny. Another 2-2. This one, a pop-up to Faith Canfield. She makes the easy grab, and the side is retired for the Broncos. It's 3-0 Michigan. We head to the home half of the second. This is WCBN Sports' presentation of Michigan softball.
Yeah, just a reminder to all of those of you who are tuning in on Real Radio on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor. Our time slot's going to expire in just a couple minutes, but you can continue to follow along on our YouTube page at WCBN Sports. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, things you want us to bring up during the broadcast, tweet at us at WCBN Sports, of course. Also, drop a follow, all that good stuff. So I guess this is us signing off for the on-air. Obviously, we're going to be continuing online until this one ends, but you've been listening to 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball. Thanks to those of you who have tuned in for a half hour, and thanks to those of you who are going to stick around as well.
Where did you say I can voice some concerns? Because I got a lot of concerns with you, Mo.
I mean, you have my phone number, Kev.
Right,
we're not going to air that one out.
I'll talk to you after the game then. A lot of concerns from my partner here in the booth. So, due up for the Wolverines, the bottom third of the order, Lindsay Montemurano will be followed by Courtney Richardson and Natalie Peters.
Yeah, Monty's an interesting case, I would say. Benched over the course of the Wisconsin series just for a game. She's, she has had her typical second half resurgence. She's hitting .278 in Big Ten play. And to be fair, she also hit solidly in the second half of non-conference play. But we have yet to see her really break out in the power department as we have in past seasons.
Called strike two, Montemurano, who hits .280 on the year, 1 home run, 16 RBIs, and as Mo just mentioned, only 4 doubles. And that's something that we definitely saw last year is, and one series comes to mind is that Northwestern series. The 0-1 is up above the letters, 1-1.
Yeah, you got to imagine it's coming, and I respect that she hasn't sacrificed anything with her normal approach to the plate. She's still drawing a ton of walks, still sparking the offense when she gets to hit.
Fouls one straight back into the protective netting, and it's 1-2. Sanchez back to work in the circle for the Broncos. She retired the final 3 Wolverines of that first inning after the first 3 reached. If you're just joining us, it was a Faith Canfield 3-run bomb. That is the difference so far. 2-2 on Montemurano.
I mean, both pitchers are throwing a no-hitter if you throw out Krishna Ramirez and Canfield. Funny how that works.
Always an optimist you are, Mo. That's what I enjoy about you. The 2-2 to Montemurano. Shot up the middle for a base hit. Montemurano with a leadoff single here in the bottom of the second.
That is a good-looking 2-strike swing. A hard breaking ball out of the right arm of Anissa Sanchez, and she just rocketed that one right back where it came from.
So that will bring up Courtney Richardson.
Richardson, also someone who's had a bit of a roller coaster ride this season. Started off hot, faded, and recently has picked it back up again.
She fouls the first pitch off, and we've seen this. We're now on batter number 8, and most of them have taken a hack at that first pitch, and most of them have either reached base or at least fouled it off and tried to get a good swing on that.
Yeah, Sanchez doesn't really have overpowering stuff out there right now.
The 0-1 scoots outside. It's 1-1, and maybe the most popular Wolverine in midweek MACtion games is Courtney Richardson. $1 hot dogs for all midweek games against a MAC team here at Alumni Field. The 1-1 inside.
Now, is she covering the remaining cost of those hot dogs?
I highly doubt that, Mo.
I don't think the NCAA would permit it.
They definitely wouldn't like it.
It'd be a dope move on her part. To be fair. I mean, she says, tell them C-Rich sent you on the big board. I told them that. They didn't even know what I was talking about. I still got $2 dogs, though.
It's 2-2 on Richardson. She fouls another one off, this one to the left side. So Montemurano on board with a leadoff single, and now a 2-2 count for Courtney Richardson to work with. The sophomore from Park Ridge, Illinois. A flare to the shortstop is caught. Montemurano back safely to first.
That's a good read there by Lindsay Montemurano. It's a little pop-up into what can be no man's land, the shallow infield behind the circle. Read correctly that Wyman was going to come on and make that catch, but we've seen lesser runners get picked off at first on a double play.
I believe we saw that a few times over the weekend.
Yeah, some miscues, especially when the runner on first was the trail runner with multiple people on.
Natalie Peters, the number 9 hitter. batting .346 on the year, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs. That second home run of the year ended Saturday's game against Indiana in the fashion of a run rule. This one, a bouncer to Barg. She tosses to Weinman and will get the out at second. So it'll be a fielder's choice for Peters as Montemurano will trot back to the dugout.
That play not as easy as Barg made it look. Had to deal with Montemurano running and swerving right in front of her as she fielded it, and then just coolly and calmly backhanded flipped it to Wyman, covering at second, just before the sliding Lindsey Montemurano.
So back to the top, Kelly Christner led things off with a bunt single, stole second, and then scored on the home run. Peters goes, the throw, not in time. Peters will take second on that one, her 8th stolen base of the year. She's a perfect 8-for-8.
Taking advantage, the Wolverines are, of an inexperienced Carrie Padula, a freshman behind the plate, only started 7 games. Not a bad throw, to be fair, but Peters has a lot of speed.
That's already 3 stolen bases for the Wolverines. Peters thought about stealing third on that pitch with an aggressive lead, but instead stays put. It's 1-1 on Christner.
We don't normally see the Wolverines quite this aggressive on the base paths.
The top 3 hitters in the lineup, however, do have double-digit stolen bases. That would be Christner, Ramirez, and Canfield, 2-1, 2 outs, runner on second base. Sanchez checking her armband, delivers a ball outside, looked to go with the off-speed pitch, but it misses. So Christner with a good hitter's count at 3-1. With a runner in scoring position, Michigan a perfect 2-for-2 with the runners in scoring position today. The 3-1 inside, and that's a 2-out walk for Kelly Christner.
That'll raise her on-base percentage on the season to about .520. She is proven adept at taking the free passes, and that combined with her base running is part of why Hutch saw fit to put her in that leadoff spot, moving her from, the 3rd or 4th spot. Also, Canfield, Falk, and Blanco all have the power to go in that cleanup spot without the on-base ability and without the speed that Christner has, aside from, Blanco, who walks like it's her job.
Definitely, and gets hit if
Yeah.
we're talking about her knack for getting on base. First pitch to Ramirez is fouled straight back. It was an interesting decision, in my opinion, to put Christner in the leadoff spot, but the more and more I see it, the more and more games that she's there, the more and more I like it, because she's such a dynamic leadoff hitter. The 0-1 to Ramirez misses, 1-1.
She's probably the best bunter on the team, and we didn't get much of a chance to see that out of the 3-hole.
Absolutely, and even last year when her average was a little lower and she was going through some struggles during the season, that's what she turned to get on base. She bunted so effectively. The 1-1 misses to the senior shortstop.
A couple of runners on base. The Western Michigan outfield, curious, they're back. They're playing, maybe 10 steps in front of the warning track. Not what you would normally expect against a slapper like Ramirez.
She grounds one right to Sanchez in the circle. Over to Wilson for the 3rd out of the inning. Michigan threatens but does not score. It's 3-0 after 2 innings here at Alumni Field. Blanco will be back to work, and Michigan already with 4 hits in the first 2 innings, also has walked once, so they're putting the ball in play. They're finding the holes in the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. The only hole that they're not finding is the one, up the middle, aside from Lindsey Montemurano. Anissa Sanchez has proven, I guess, a bit difficult to hit slow ground balls past. But yeah, for the most part, pretty solid swings from the Wolverines. Can't complain, 3 runs after 2.
If you look on the other side, Tara Blanco has gone 2 innings, has not allowed a hit, and only 1 base runner coming via the walk. Also 2 strikeouts to her name, as she will face 8-9-1 in the Western Michigan order.
Yeah, Blanco's looked real solid. I think over the weekend, both Blanco and Betza were not quite at their best. This is, given that Betza threw 5 2/3 no-hit innings to start Saturday's game, but even still, it looked like she was kind of fighting with arm difficulties with like a cramp in her right leg. And Blanco, you could tell, didn't really have her best stuff and was able to battle through that. And I think it does bode well for the Wolverines that both of their pitchers were able to fight through, not feeling quite at ease out there in the circle.
So, Mo, you were not completely sold on the pitching performances from the Wolverines over the weekend. However, they only allowed 2 runs in the 3 games. So
yeah, it's a testament to how good they are that they only gave up 2 runs despite, not looking like they were totally humming.
And the standards and expectations that a lot of people have coming in. The 1-0 pitch to Padula is grounded to Ramirez, who's had a busy day, and for the 4th time today, she successfully gives it to Aiden Falk. And that's out number 1.
Good swing there from Padula, but that's what happens when you spot that ball on the absolute inside corner of the plate. Padula not quite able to extend, drive a line drive. Instead, the best she could do was barrel it over to Ramirez at short.
So that'll bring up Erin Barg. Fouls one off to start off her at-bat. Barg on the year, 276, no home runs, 6 RBIs. Does have a stolen base.
I'll tell you, Blanco can turn up the gas, and it seems to come pretty effortlessly to her. And this is only really her first year getting a lot of run in the rotation.
The 0-1 is way upstairs. 1-1.
Still a lot of kinks to iron out, but I think that this team can go pretty far next year with her as a number 1. Not that anybody's focused on next year yet, but she's pretty impressive.
You saw flashes of it in her first 2 years in the non-conference schedule. That off-speed pitch is into left center field for a base hit. It went in between Christner, who was coming in, and Ramirez, who was pushing out. But Ramirez not able to get that one.
Yeah, she got a bad read on that one. Her first step was in toward home plate. It probably was off the hands of Barg, and that's a trajectory that usually won't go too far. But Barg, to her credit, able to muscle it beyond Ramirez, who could not recover in time to track it down.
And that might not even be on Ramirez because you have to factor in the wind, so that ball definitely pushed into the outfield. Schaff comes up swinging in her second at-bat, but it's fouled to the backstop, 0-1.
Yeah, there have been some effective swirling winds at Alumni over the past couple of weeks, and it hasn't boded well for defenders.
Schaff 0 for 1 today, struck out to start the game. 0-1 grounded to Montemurano to Canfield, the turn in time, and that's a double play. 5-4-3 to end the top of the 3rd inning. Blanco works around a 1-out hit, and it's still 3-0. We move to the bottom of the 3rd. This is WCBN Sports' presentation of Michigan softball. Kevin Klein, Morris Fabry alongside with me. And we always talk about it, but Montemurano, great defense.
Yeah, that was a tailor-made double play, and Monty did a great job transferring, quickly firing it down to Canfield, who maybe took a little longer than I was comfortable with getting it, from catching it to turning it and firing toward first. But she made sure that the throw was going to be on target and got Schaff by the smallest of margins. That's a leadoff hitter you're getting at. You got to get things done quick against someone with speed.
Yeah, Schaff, she leads the team in stolen bases. She has good speed. And the left side of the infield for Michigan, very busy today. You think about what Ramirez has been able to glove, and Montemurano always active at the hot corner. But those are 2 seniors that are going to be cherished and definitely missed next year, especially when you factor in how good they are defensively coupled with their offense.
Absolutely. I think this team has the talent to come in and plug those holes. Taylor Swearingen, I think, will be a fine replacement at third. Maybe not quite the on-base potency of Lindsey Montemurano, but she'll be more than playable. And, Maddie Uden at shortstop, I think she's already demonstrated that she's got potential. I love the pep band playing Winter Wonderland in between innings. That's got to get the crowd, got to get them that warm, fuzzy feeling to offset the cold, chilling feeling of actually existing in this weather.
Ball 1 to Canfield. 1-for-1 today with that 3-run home run. It was her 8th of the year, 33rd RBI. It's 1-0 for Canfield, still facing Sanchez. Aiden Falk and Blanco will follow her. That one, a hot shot down the third base line. Hutch danced a little bit to get out of the way of that one.
I just wouldn't want to be on the defensive end against Faith Canfield. She's got to be terrifying right now.
The contact she makes is absolutely incredible when you think about the extra base power. I mean, the outfielders right now, from left to right, are playing, if not at the edge of the grass, almost at that warning track. Canfield drives the 1-1 pitch off the glove of Sachaki at third base. The shortstop Wyman fielded it, but her throw way late, and it will be the 5th hit of the ball game for the Wolverines, 2nd for Faith Canfield.
That's what I'm saying. That was a freaking rocket. Sachaki almost went through her glove.
I mean, if I'm playing defense, I don't care where I'm playing defense against Canfield. I want one of those protective masks.
Yeah, out in left field, I want one of those masks. Looks like she might see a pinch runner, which is interesting, but Nikki Waldo is up to the task. I want to see what it looks like when Canfield really connects with a fly ball to the outfield. Like, you know, a lot of her home runs have been rocket line drives that look like doubles off the bat. I want to see what happens when she hits a real moonshot, how far that'll go. It could be Blanco-esque.
I would not put it past her, but as you mentioned, Nikki Wald in the game for Canfield at first. Falk drives one down the right field line. That's a base hit. Wald rounding second, going into third. Falk will get a double. Her team leading 16th double of the year. And just like that, the Wolverines are back in business here in the bottom of the third.
There's one of those first pitch hacks that you were talking about, Kev. This time, Aiden Falk found what she liked all over it.
She has the ability, which is incredibly impressive. She has so much power to all fields. That one to the pull field in right field. But we have seen her double to the left side, hit home runs to the left side. Such a valuable asset to have when you're not a dead pull hitter. So Blanco now with runners on second and third. Nobody down here in the bottom of the third. Blanco 0 for 1 today. Fouled out to the right fielder, Swinehart.
And she hit that ball pretty hard without really connecting.
The 1-0 is scorched down the left field line, way foul, but if it was fair, it probably would have been gone.
Yeah, she connected with that one. Little out in front, little under it, but still.
So it's 1-1 on the junior pitcher. This one sinks low. It was an off-speed pitch. Alex Subject waiting in the on-deck circle.
Good patience on that drop ball. When it starts thigh high, it can be enticing to chase it even when it dips down to the shoe tops.
Blanco with a fabulous eye at the plate. 28 walks on the year. A foul out of play right side, and that'll push the count to 2-2.
That was pretty much the same pitch. That time she couldn't hold up. A great eye, not a perfect eye, of course. She's only human.
28 walks and 13 times she's been hit by the pitch.
She didn't even crowd the plate that much either.
The 2-2. There's another off-speed pitch, and it's fouled away. You could see Sanchez really trying to mix speeds against these Michigan hitters, but we've touched on it a few times now. They're just jumping out in front on those first and second pitches of the at-bat, and Sanchez can't work those secondary pitches in.
Yeah, this is one of the few instances where a Michigan hitter has gotten deep in the count.
Another 2-2 inside, and that'll run the count full. Blanco with a good eye there as that one just a hair inside.
She threw 3 off-speed pitches low and away, came back in with the hot stuff there, just missed her spot, thumbs the brakes, and now she's got to go at it again.
Payoff pitch, ground ball, right to Wyman, running, trying to score, and Wald's out at the plate. A great decision by Wyman at shortstop. She knew immediately if she was getting that ball, she was going to the plate, and it paid off for out number 1.
Looked like a great slide, too, from Nikki Wald, going around home plate and just tapping it with the backhand as she went past. Looked to be a bang-bang call. Carrie Padula, I guess, doing a good job of blocking that plate and applying the tag, but I thought it could have gone either way. I guess you just got to give her credit for being in the right spot and having the ball come in before Nikki Wald.
Brief pause in the action as Tara Blanco will put on the sweater, try to keep that right arm warm as she's roaming the base paths. Falk did not move up on that play, so runners on first and second, 1 out here for Subject. Subject lined out to the pitcher Sanchez to end the first frame.
Real end of the bat shot that first one was. Outfield shading her toward the opposite field, at least in center field, shaft shading ever so slightly toward that gap.
The 1-0, there's a called strike on Subject, who we've seen her at times. She's playing catcher today, but we've seen her at times play third base and play a pretty good third base when Montemurano's on the bench. The 1-1 is driven right to Wyman past her glove. This will get up to the wall in left center. Falk will score. Blanco's trying to score. Here's the relay throw from Wyman. It's past the catcher Padula, and Subject all the way to third base. It's 5-0 Michigan.
An awkward slide as she crossed home plate from
that
Tara Blanco. Kind of landed on her knees and flopped across home plate. Came up, she was all smiles, of course. A hot shot from Subject. Probably should have been a play from Wyman there, but when it's hit that hard and the hops are that wicked, it can be tough to get the body down in front.
It was definitely a hard hit ball, and all through playing low levels of Little League baseball growing up, I was always told, don't do the olé on the ball when on ground balls. Don't play with the bull and pull up your glove, and that's exactly what Wyman did, and it cost her. But that whole play in general was awkward from the start, with Wyman's play defensively and then Blanco coming in with it wasn't even a slide at the plate, it was more of a tumble, I would say.
And that might be generous.
So they rule it a double, a 2 RBI double, and Subject advances to third on the throw, so Wolverines still threatening here, this time with Montemurano up to bat. She's already 1 for 1 today.
I think it's kind of a 50-50 call as to whether or not to score that an error, but when in doubt, err on the side of giving Subject credit for absolutely tattooing that one.
Montemurano drives one into left field. This one going back at the track, and that one's gone. Montemurano hugs the foul pole out there in left field. It's a 2-run shot. There's your power.
Yeah, we were looking for the power. I think we just found it, although that one is about as close as you can get while still leaving the yard. Maybe aided a bit by the wind, though that's blowing out more toward right center. Heck of a swing. Again, first pitch. Saw it, turned on it. There it goes. Anissa Sanchez not having her best day.
Sanchez, on that note, will depart. We'll have a new Western Michigan Bronco in the circle as Michigan has blown this one open. It's 4-0. Sanchez leaves after 2 1/3 innings.
It's 4-0 in the third inning. It's 7-0 overall.
Excuse me.
You're good, man. I mean, the runs are coming too fast to keep up with.
So 2 1/3 innings for Sanchez, 8 hits, 7 earned runs, no strikeouts, and a walk is the final line for her.
Yeah, Sanchez, I think the nominal leader of this pitching staff as far as ERA was concerned.
And that will...
Kind of thumbing through the stat sheets right now. Yeah, she was second on the team in innings pitched, but if you look at all the unearned runs scored, and if you look at just the stuff that she was offering, this was a matchup that was always going to go badly for her.
Holly Vantilberg will be the new pitcher for the Broncos, a junior from Paw Paw, Michigan. And on the year, 5-3, a 3.32 ERA. This will be your 20th appearance. 65 innings, 31 earned runs, 41 strikeouts to 22 walks. Opponents hitting .252 off of the right-hander.
Is that like the dog breeding capital of Michigan, Paw Paw? I've never heard of that. I think I like to think I'm pretty well versed.
I'm pretty good with my Michigan geography. I'm not familiar with Paw Paw. So it's 7-0 Michigan. Bottom of the third, Courtney Richardson up to bat. First pitch she sees is a pop-up that is gloved by Barg, and that's the second out.
Yeah, 2 pop-outs and 2 plate appearances for C-Rich. Maybe the pressure of all the expectations from the people who come here just for the Dollar Dogs might be weighing on her shoulders.
Number 9 hitter, Natalie Peters, reached on a fielder's choice, then stole a base. She takes one at the chin, 1-0.
That home run to right is probably the most unexpected thing that I've seen this Michigan softball team do this season.
It hugged the line as closely as you could hug the line.
About as closely as Monty's homer just did.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Monty homer didn't hook foul, too. You see it all the time, but I think the wind might have helped straighten that one out.
2-0 to Peters. She'll take a called strike.
That seems to be sort of the MO against slap hitters. It's to pound that low and away region of the strike zone.
Peters drives one into right field. That's a base hit, and the inning will continue. Michigan, their offense erupting here in the third. They've already scored 4 times, and they're looking for more, especially with Kelly Christner taking the batter's box.
Big mistake pitch there from Swinehart. A drop ball that stayed well up in the zone, caught the fat part of the plate, and Peters made her pay.
Vantilberg looking to get out of this third inning. There's a called strike to Christner. 1 for 1 today, a single, a walk, a stolen base for the senior center fielder. Peters, good speed at first. Christner fouls one off down the left side, and she's dug herself an 0-2 hole.
Good high heat there from Vantilberg, taking advantage of a Christner who, along with the rest of this Michigan team, taking an aggressive approach at the plate.
And why not, especially with a 7-0 lead, the 0-2, and that one is gloved on the fly by Vantilberg, and that'll do it for the inning. Michigan scores 4 times, courtesy of a 2-run subject double and a 2-run shot from Montemurano. Michigan in command of this one, 7-0.
You know, on our weekly softball podcast, East of the Rockies, which you can listen to on iTunes or SoundCloud, it's called East of the Rockies. We have, we do it weekly. It's me, Kevin, Jeremy Parks, the executive director of our station. We usually do interviews on an almost weekly basis, talk about the team. Anyway, on the weekly show, we talked about some of the struggles this offense has had, and I think we centered it around maybe not being quite patient enough at the plate, but instead of reversing course, this Michigan team is sort of taking a page out of Michigan football's defensive coordinator Don Brown's playbook. Solve your problems with aggression. They have been out all over this Western Michigan pitching staff, and you know, I got no problems with it if the results look like this.
Yeah, for me, it's one thing if you're being aggressive and it's not working, then you might have to change something. But if it's working, why change anything? And that's what Michigan's been able to do. And we finally have some information about Paw Paw, Michigan, about 20 miles west of Kalamazoo, and known for their wineries. A lot of grapes in the Paw Paw, Michigan region. So there you go. There's your fun fact of the day, Mo.
I'm a little disappointed that it doesn't mention anything about dogs or cats or...
Well, Paw Paws, they're named for the Paw Paw trees, which once grew along the Paw Paw River. So there's the connection there. Not because of anything to do with dogs.
C'est la vie.
Swinehart, Sachaki, Stoner due up here in the fourth. Blanco has worked 3 really solid innings so far, only allowing 2 base runners, and 1 was erased by a double play. Swinehart down to the count 0-1 now. She's 0 for 1 today. Bounced out to Ramirez at short in the first.
Infield and outfield shaded slightly in against the slapping Swinehart.
The 0-1, high and away on the left-handed hitting Mackenzie Swinehart, just a freshman, and has put together a pretty good freshman campaign so far. Came into this one batting .389. The 1-1 is outside. Subject held it there for just an extra tick, trying to get the call, but it was outside. 2-1.
No home runs yet, though, from Swinehart. You're looking for a couple of those this weekend out of the Michigan Slappers.
Yep. Another ball inside, and it's 3-1. On the podcast, once again, east of the Rockies, I called 2 slap hitters home runs this weekend against Rutgers. 3-1. The 3-1, a grounder off of Subject. And to show my confidence in how definite I am about these slappers and their power, I said one of them is coming from Thais Gonzalez.
Yeah, you were.
That's my call.
I'd say a bit delusional.
There were a lot of hot takes on episode 13.
There's plenty of room for that on the pod. Maddie Uden also playing second base right now, a defensive replacement for Faith Canfield. Just getting some reps out there.
A 3-2. In there, called strike 3, and Swinehart is retired.
Seems like Blanco is really only capable of striking out the first hitter in an inning. She's done it in 3 out of these 4 frames against the Broncos. That one looking a backdoor curveball.
That'll bring up Sachaki. Check swing, but I believe she went too far, but she did not, says Jamie Cole. That might be as far as you could go without saying you win. I was pretty comfortable.
Yeah, we've got a similar vantage point, and I would tend to agree with you, Kev.
Doesn't matter, though, and Jamie Cole's opinion, the only one that does matter, the 1-0. Grounder, foul into the Michigan dugout, 1-1.
Well, we know Sachaki is willing to swing in a number of circumstances. She grounded out on 3-0 in her first plate appearance.
One and one. And that one runs inside on the right-handed hitter, Sachaki. You mentioned Uden at second base. Have we seen Madison Uden at second? We've seen her a few times at short, where she is pretty good defensively.
I don't recall ever seeing her at second base, but oy.
That one nails Sachaki right in the inner forearm, and she'll take first base.
Yeah, that one got away from Tara Blanco, as pitches do when it's a moist and cold environment out there, not conducive to great grips on the ball.
And not that you'd rather be hit in one game or another, but this one is not the one I'd want to be hit in.
No.
It is cold.
No.
That one will definitely leave a mark.
For sure. But yeah, at least, playing Uden at second gives her different perspectives, I guess. We expect her to come play shortstop next year, but, maybe if Canfield needs to miss a game, if Canfield tries to take short, I guess the reps are there now.
Stoner lines one into center field, and that'll be a base hit. Back-to-back Broncos reach, and they're trying to claw themselves back into this one. 2 on, 1 out, and Marley Wilson, the first baseman, will get a chance to hack it out.
2 on, 2 out. I mean, if you're going to give up some base runners, you might as well do it. Oh, only 1 out. Never mind. I'm apparently out of the game. Double play setup, though. The Wolverines already have 1 turned so far. That at the end of last inning. The first real trouble Blanco's been in today, though.
Sachaki will exit for a pinch runner. Still trying to catch a number.
Yeah, she's hiding a number. I think it's Jordan Cron.
Junior from Romeo, Michigan, so a little more speed on the base paths here. Wilson will take a ball way high, and it's 1-0.
Blanco's going to have a real long leash in this one. I know Michigan wants to avoid bringing in Megan Betts at pretty much all costs.
The 1-0 is driven into right field. Peters giving chase. That'll get down for a base hit. Cron did not get a good read on the ball, and she will only be able to move up 60, so bases loaded with 1 out now. I thought, if anything, that one would have gone foul. I didn't think Peters had a chance at it, so I'm not sure where the bad read from Cron came from. But it's a break in favor of the Wolverines as they still have not allowed a run. And here comes Jennifer Brundage to calm down Tara Blanco.
Yeah, it's sort of incumbent on any base runner to know where the defense is playing so that you can get quick reads and score on plays like that. But that is just about the toughest read you can have as a runner on second base headed toward third, because you can't really track the ball at all while it's in the air. It's totally behind you. And so that ball was popped up off the bat of the hitter, and so off the bat of Marley Wilson. And so I mean, I guess it was just difficult to see, but yeah, Cron should be scoring there.
Brundage will make her way back to the dugout. Cron on third, Stoner on second, Wilson on first. Aspen Williams will have a chance to bat here. She walked in the second, and Williams has 6 home runs on the year, so watch out if you're Tara Blanco. The first pitch will hit the zone, 0-1.
Blanco, obviously no stranger to bases loaded jams, got out of a bases loaded no outs jam in Michigan's 2-1 victory over the Indiana Hoosiers. That coming on Friday last week.
The 0-1 offering will again be taken for a strike, so Blanco has some room to work here. It's 0-2 on Williams. The outfield playing slightly in. Infield playing Williams straight up. Here's the 0-2. Check swing, but Brian Smith said she went. It's strike 3 and out number 2, and Mo, you are making quite the face right now.
I mean, juxtapose that with the call on Kelsey Sachaki earlier on, who I thought went a lot farther around on her swing, and it's a bit perplexing. But nonetheless, Tara Blanco will take it, as will the Wolverines.
Blanco 1 out away from getting out of this bases-loaded jam. First pitch is grounded to Ramirez. She'll toss it across the diamond, and that'll get the Wolverines out of the inning. So just like that, Blanco works out of the jam, and it's 7-0 Michigan. We're halfway through this one, bottom of the 4th inning coming up next.
You know, Megan Betza has been an incredible pitcher this year, and one of the reasons that she's been able to keep her ERA so low is that she's so good with the strikeout, that she can get out of jams with runners on base. You know, she can basically do it all herself. And Blanco, you know, she doesn't necessarily have that same strikeout capability, but she's still only given up like a 180 average with runners on base so far this season. And she showed there that she's got the ability to go get a strikeout if she needs.
And I think, and this is something that I've talked about all year, is something that I've seen with Megan Betza, is how mature she has become over her past 3 years. or 4 years, that is. And we've seen the same transition with Blanco throughout the season, how much more comfortable she is with runners on base, and she doesn't get flustered, and that's what makes her so successful. We've seen it time and time again. She has no problem getting out of crazy jams and keeping the score as is.
Yeah, we've talked to some players on the team throughout the course of interviews that you can hear on our podcast, East of the Rockies, but all of them will attest to Tara Blanco's work ethic and her focus in really embracing this number 2 role in the rotation. And I will digress for a bit. They just had a lone trumpet playing We Wish You a Merry Christmas as sort of a solo off of the Blues Brothers that they were playing. Digging the Christmas music, I dig it more if not for the fact that I have already experienced my fill during the holiday season.
Fair enough. And with that, the bottom of the 4th is underway with a foul ball off the bat of Abby Ramirez. Ramirez 1 for 2 today. She was the only Wolverine not to bat in the 3rd inning.
Oh, man. Now it's Uden on deck instead of Canfield. I wanted to see Canfield again. She's hitting the ball so well. I just wanted to see where it ended up.
Strike 2, but it's not like
Uden's no slouch. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's not like Uden is really just not doing well at the plate. She recorded her first collegiate home run on Friday against Indiana in front of her sister, who is a member of the Hoosiers. That one fouled away, 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that sibling rivalry going on, especially when you got that age gap. You never want to see little sister jumping out to the lead so quick.
Ramirez working a pretty good at-bat so far, fouls another one off.
I swear, the outfield alignment against Ramirez really does confuse me.
She pokes one into the outfield, and that'll be a foul ball right to the left of the foul line in left field. Yeah, that's something that we've grown accustomed to seeing. When the 2 slappers for the Wolverines take the batter's box, that center fielder shifts to left center, and that left fielder is almost like a 5th infielder. There's the first ball of the count, 1-2.
And Ramirez has demonstrated a strong power slap, but a lot of that comes toward that left center field gap when she really connects, and right now Western Michigan's not set up for that.
The 1-2 from Vantelberg, grounded, backhanded by Vantelberg, and will make a strong throw for out number 1 to get the speedy Ramirez.
Well, that's one way to make the outfield defense not matter. Just a grounder back to the circle.
It was actually a pretty good play from Vantelberg, who had to range to her right, poke it out of the infield dirt. Madison Uden will bounce one to Barg, and 1 pitch and the 2nd out of the inning. Madison Uden does not spend too much time in the batter's box. She's 0 for 1 today.
Another first pitch swing, and it was a good one. You know, a few more feet up the middle, and she's got herself a base hit. She hit it hard, but a nice play by Barg.
Aiden Falk doubled last inning. She'll foul one off. Another first pitch swing by the Wolverines. 1 for 2 today is Falk. Canfield, before she departed, 2 for 2, and that 3-run home run in the first. A slow off-speed pitch will drop to Aiden Falk's ankles. Another ball in the dirt. It's 2-1 on the Wolverines' first baseman.
Vantelberg, I'd say a marked improvement over Anissa Sanchez so far. Finding the zone a little better, throwing a little more hard stuff.
That hard stuff is pushed into left field. It'll be another base knock for Aiden Falk.
Still an improvement.
Second hit of the day for Falk, and the inning will continue for Tara Blanco, who reached on a fielder's choice last inning ended up scoring on the subject double. However, is 0 for 2 today. Ball high, right across the letters.
So we set the over-under for the team leader in home runs on the team at 15, and I think we all pegged Terra Blanco as the most likely to reach that.
Another ball. This one gets past Padula. Falk will take second on the wild pitch.
Anyway, you remarked that I remarked that there was still a chance that Blanco get to that 15 mark. You said that she'd have to get like 6 against Rutgers to be on pace, but we did discount this game as well.
Canfield already with a home run today. Blanco has homered in 3 of her last 4 games. Falls one to the right side. So her home run total is now at 6. Still very productive in terms of driving in runs at 39. That leads the team. The 2-1 called strike.
It's a close one, definitely not one that Blanco would offer at outside of a 2-strike count.
A 2-strike count is what Blanco has right now. 2-2, 2 outs with Aiden Falk at second base. Drives one. This one popped up left center field. It will be Schaff to make the grab to end the inning. A 2-out single stranded. We're through 4, 7-0 Wolverines.
That one a towering pop-up. A loud sound off the bat. Blanco got almost all of that one, but even the stiff winds blowing out to center, not enough to aid that one to safety.
I got excited. I really thought it might have been another Blanco blast.
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of trying to foreshadow it, if we're being honest. It didn't come to fruition, however.
Well, one thing I'm really trying to foreshadow is those 2 home runs from slap hitters over the weekend in Rutgers.
I mean, it'd be nice to see another one today, if nothing else, as a birthday present to you.
Thank you, Mo. It is my birthday.
Yeah, maybe a 5-inning run rule to get out of here in timely fashion. It is their final regular season home game. It's certainly not a goodbye to the fans, as they will be coming back here for the Big Ten tournament, which will be in a couple of weekends after their trip out to Rutgers. But, I don't really think that they're trying to stick around in front of these fans in this kind of weather.
It was funny walking into the ballpark. I don't think they had updated the scoreboard yet. They had just turned it on, and it said that it was 70 degrees. And I was thinking, I mean, good thing I have some shorts on under this. I would have, taken off the khaki pants, had some shorts, maybe a tank top, and enjoyed the summer weather. Instead, it feels like it might snow.
Yeah, the pep band is not letting us forget that either.
Padula, Barg, and back to the top in Ivy Schaff here in the top of the 5th.
It looks like we will see a pinch hitter, Aaron Binkowski, hitting for Padula.
And she'll take a ball outside. Binkowski, 158 on the year, 9 for 57. A home run, 5 RBIs. Good opportunity for some Broncos to get some extra experience here as she takes another ball.
She's got a really weird stance. I'm not sure how she generates much power out of it. Sits toward the back of the box and crouches real low, with her feet pretty close together too.
That left elbow tucked in to her body. No need to swing so far though. It's 3-0 on the senior.
Blanco maybe coming down off the adrenaline after she almost connected with a bomb. Maybe. That's a stretch.
Binkowski drives one into center field. Christner coming on to make the catch for out number 1. So some good contact from the pinch hitter, but Christner really good range in center field, and no damage done there.
It might be that both of these teams are just trying to get out of here in timely fashion. We see 2 swings on 3-0 lead to outs for the Western Michigan Broncos today.
Erin Barg 1 for 1 today. She singled in the 3rd. Western Michigan has been held to 3 hits overall, 2 of them coming in the 4th and the Barg in the 3rd. This one scooped up right to Blanco. A hot shot glove by Tara for out number 2 after tossing it over to Aiden Falk.
That was a hot shot. Aaron B followed by Aaron B. A couple of outs for the Western Michigan Broncos to start things off here in the top of the 5th.
2 outs for the top of the order. Ivy Schaff, 0 for 2 today, struck out, grounded into a double play, and she'll take a first pitch strike from Blanco.
Not exactly a banner day for Schaff. I think that was a 5-4-3 double play. That was
Indeed.
the Monty to Canfield.
Swing and a miss. Schaff goes out of the zone, and it's 0-2. Blanco has been pretty good attacking hitters today, 11 for 18 in first pitch strikes, and that pitch count very low, only at 59. Here's the 0-2. It's popped out of play off the press box.
That one was going to land right on my laptop if not for all the protection we have in front of us.
Blanco winds, delivers, swing and a miss. Schaff down on strikes for the second time today. Blanco has a handful of strikeouts now, and she gets out of the top of the 5th unscathed. It's 7-0 Michigan. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Michigan will try to tack on a run here and end it early.
Yeah, Blanco really hasn't been hit hard at all today. A few bloopers in the 4th offered a scare, sure, but by and large she's been pounding the zone. She's been mixing speeds well. She's been keeping that off-speed pitch out of the hittable areas. Impressive stuff so far. It's what you want to see out of the righty. The beach portion of the Peach and the Beach duo that is the Michigan rotation.
Great name.
Yeah, Blanco out of Huntington Beach, probably not totally at ease in this weather, but after spending, 3 full semesters of school, or not 3 full semesters, 3 full years of school here, you would get accustomed to it. This is by no means the worst Michigan weather has to offer.
And we will have a new second baseman. That's number 5, Jenna Faltersack. She will replace Bard. But you know what, Mo? I've lived in Michigan my whole life, now 22 years, and I'm still not comfortable in the winter. So it might never come.
Yeah, it might just be something that you endure by virtue of being human.
Subject Montemurano and Richardson due up here in the bottom of the 5th. 7-0 Michigan. Michigan looking for that 1 run to push this one into a run rule victory, and you see it there on the first pitch of the 5th inning. Subject sends the fans home happy. It's a solo shot, and it'll be an 8-0 victory for the Wolverines. Subject does exactly what Faith Canfield did in the first inning, a line drive home run to the right center field direction.
Yeah, Subjects hit 3 line drives today, 1 to the pitcher, 1 to the shortstop, and 1 to right center field to end the game, seeing the ball really well. And this Wolverines team has got the power bats working, not against top-notch competition. We'll see if that continues against Rutgers and through into the Big Ten tournament, but certainly what the fans have been clamoring for all season. They've been putting it together lately.
Absolutely, and you look what Subject was able to do. 3 RBIs. She scored twice. Faith Canfield was 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs. And Montemurano's home run. So most of those runs via the home run, which Michigan has been able to take advantage of so well as of late, that now makes 14 home runs in their past 6 games, and it seems to be a turning point. They're really swinging and making good contact over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, Subject not wasting any time getting us out of here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and I think that while the fans came here to see this softball team play, they'll be glad to get out of here on a high note as quickly as possible.
Tara Blanco will take the win. She improves to 17-3. Anissa Sanchez drops to 7-6. The time of the game is short one, an hour and 16 minutes. Once again, your final score, Michigan 8, Western Michigan 0, after the Broncos only muster up 3 hits. Michigan scores their 8 runs on 11 hits, a clean ball game today. In terms of errors, that will about do it for us here from Alumni Field. For Morris Fabry, my name's Kevin Klein saying so long from Ann Arbor. Good night.